What is up, everyone? My name is Alyxian and welcome back to Omori. Yes, I know, we finished the game, but I have not been able to put it to rest, and I need to. I have been thinking about it non-stop ever since I finished it. I need to know more. I want to know more. And there is a couple of you guys who suggested I look at the secret endings, and one of you even suggested that I do a reaction to it. Now, I generally wasn't interested in doing a reaction for you guys because I didn't think you'd be interested. However, I want to do it for me because I'm interested, and like I said, I want to put it to rest. I want to be done with it. But you need to know this game is so much bigger than what I've played. And I don't know, you may be watching this video and you've not seen my playthrough. That's fine. But from what I've played, I played the normal route. There is something called the Hikikomori route. I could be saying that wrong, but either way, it's also known as the Omori route. And I'm just going to quickly read it off of here. It is an alternative pathway unlocked by having Sunny, or Aaron in our case, refuse to answer his front door and having him remain inside his house throughout all 3 days in the beginning there. So this causes Faraway Town, all the things that we did in Faraway Town, to be replaced with the daily chores that would now be accessible that his mum had left for him to do, which is really, really cool. And it also changes details in the other world, or in the dream world, and it unlocks new bosses, enemies, areas, cutscenes, weapons, accessories, and it also extends black space. So I'm actually kind of really sad that I didn't get that, because I feel like I would have had a lot more to play and a lot more information as well. So it's a bit of a shame that I didn't do that, and I'm a bit sad, a little bit sad. But there are a couple of endings, so I'm just going to show you this quick little PNG here. This is the Omori Discord progress document. So if you don't know, there is an Omori Reddit, there is an Omori Discord. I will link this in the description below for you. They keep updating it. Things do change, the game does get updated, things disappear, things get added on. It is what it is. It's just really in-depth, this game. It's very, very in-depth. Okay, so getting to it. The different endings, right? You've got the true route and the neutral route. And you can get to the neutral route from taking the true route, but you can't get to the true route from the neutral route. Now, we went down the true route and we answered yes to all of this, and we ended up at the good ending, or I think some people like to call it the true ending because it's, it's the true route. We didn't, however, get the secret end, which is by watering at least 3 of Basil's plants throughout the gameplay. Now, we weren't nudged down there, that had to be on the player's own initiative, and to be honest, I probably should have gone and explored more, but I just was so into story progression and I wanted it to keep going, so that's my own fault. And also down there, you've got the bad ending, which we did do yesterday because we were very curious, and obviously we know that Omori chooses not to fight himself any longer and succumbs to his own guilt and ends his life. Now, if, for example, you choose not to save Basil, you go over to the neutral end, and the neutral end is caused in the beginning by not opening the door for Kel when he first, knocks on the door, which I did consider doing. So in the neutral end, you've got stab end and you've got abandon end. And now there's 3 different ways to get the stab end, and one of them you can only get if you've come over from the true route. The other 2 you can only get if you've come over on the neutral route. It's a little bit complicated, but there should be a little storyline here for you to follow on screen, and you've also got the abandon end, and that's very simple, straightforward. Hopefully we'll be able to find it because I'm going to be watching these very soon. Okay, so the keycaps that we were looking for. Now, I chose to go the nice and simple route, and I will go for the letters that we know we need because I figured out what it said, right? But you can collect all 26 keys. And you can hang the hangman. Now, it says on the Omori wiki that if you complete hangman, it doesn't impede your game progression or affect the ending. However, 3 of the keys can only be found on the Hikikomori route. And then something very spooky happens if it does. And I'm going to show you that right now. So this was the last keycap. Oh, I love the sound effects. It kind of sounds like a kitty purring, Turned into Marie. Oh, it turned into Marie. And imagine if you got that mid-game and you'd be like, oh my god, what the frick? And then the game crashes as well, by the way. You have to load it up again. So that's interesting. But now obviously we know the significance of that. So that's, yeah, nice little hint there, guys. Good job. Okay, so the secret good ending, or I suppose so many people using different words for it. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but either way, this is the secret good ending. Let's have a little look together, shall we? Okay, Basil wakes up in the hospital. Still feeling guilty and sad. Oh, Omori smiles at him. Oh, and his something fades away. Oh, and so does Basil's. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, that's super cute. So that's what happens after you walk into the room and tell them that you're gonna, you know, tell them something. But you've managed to water at least 3 of Basil's plants throughout the game. So that's super cute. I love that. Okay, so we got the true ending with the secret. We got the good ending, we got the bad ending. Now let's have a look at some of the alternate endings that we could have gotten. Okay, so this is when you wake up in Basil's house. A very comfortable bed. Would you like to go back to sleep? Okay, so we can go back to bed. It's not something I considered, to be fair. I wish I had, because that would have been interesting. Although, maybe not, because these are, I think, the more traumatic of the endings. So we shall see. Okay, so I've woken up alone. Everything's blurry. Go see Basil. Yes. Ooh, why is it so blurry? Aubrey. I'm so sorry, Basil. Please forgive me. Why, Basil? Why did you do it? Oh no. Sonny, why does this keep happening to us? Please, Sonny, you shouldn't be seeing this. Obviously Erin for us, but you're supposed to be moving out today. On your way to start anew. We'll take care of everything here. Go on ahead. We'll be okay, I think. Why? Why am I so useless? Okay, that's the bathroom. Do we still have something behind us? We do. Oh, please, please. Do you want to look into Basil's room? Oh, Baz. Is it that something's taking over him? Or has he ended his own life? Or has Omori gotten to him? Maybe stabbed him? Because I feel like that has a lot to do with it. Omori wanted to kill Baz, but I don't know why Omori wanted to kill Baz. Unless it was a reminder. Baz was a reminder to Omori. No, Baz was a reminder to Erin, or Sunny, of what had happened, and Omori was trying to keep Erin from remembering. I don't know. There's so many theories. I can't tell you for sure what it's all about. Not for sure. I can tell you my own thoughts, obviously, but I don't want to get it wrong. So we're going back home. No, that's Kel's house. Yeah, silly bub. You want to go back to your house. Okay, so Basil's dead. Great. Not great, obviously. It's very sad. Oh, Baz. Yo. Who is that? So blurry, I can't see. Is it meant to be Marie? I don't know if it's blurry because of what they've selected or if it's because of their footage. Okay, so I've gone back to Omori's bedroom. Okay, might as well check the mirror, right? Okay, so something's not there right now. Interesting. Ooh, it's looming over your bed though. Or is that meant to be Marie's hair? Okay. Yes, go to sleep. But what now? Tinnitus. It's back. What's happening? Please, someone tell me. Ooh. Welcome to white space again? Back to white space? You've been living here for as long as you can remember. That is pretty much the way that goes right now. Okay, but there's no door. Oh. So obviously we're gonna have to stab ourselves again, right? So everything's like kind of like it was. Or you can actually boot up your laptop at this point as well. How interesting. So this person hasn't gotten all the keys either. Yes, you stab yourself. Okay. Just check the light bulb before I stab myself. Just make sure the light's on. Just God, that must be a really hard thing to do. Okay. And then we wake up as Aaron? Huh, okay. Interesting. Hey, Sonny, it's Mommy. I'm waiting for you outside, so just come out when you're ready. Mommy loves you. Bye, honey. What a strange thing to do. You leave him a message to say you're outside. Yes, check the mirror. Is something behind you? Remember to brush your teeth every day. Love you. Do you want to brush your teeth? Yes. How strange. It's almost like it's on the Hikikomori route, which I assume is the one where you can do the chores. Cute, they went and brushed their teeth before they went outside. Yo, who's this? Your mom is waiting for you outside. Yeah, there's no door there, dude. Not right now, anyway. What about the piano? Yeah, piano's still here. Okay, so that was a moving guy, obviously. I'm assuming, anyway. May you live a long and happy life. Yes. It's time to move on from this place and start anew. What are they getting at? Yo. Something's still here? It's following us. Oh no, it fades away. Because we left. Okay, so this is what I'm assuming is the abandoned ending. This is the ending where you leave Basil, he dies due to his own guilt and his own something, and we move on. We leave it all behind. Oh man. And then the sirens for Basil. Oh my god. But how did Baz die? Does Omori kill Baz? Is that what that's suggesting? Oh my god. Unless Baz couldn't take it himself. Oh, that's horrible. Oh my god. Oh, Baz. Oh. God, I'm so glad I didn't get that ending. I would have been so sad. I mean, I was sad anyway, but I would have been so much sadder if I'd gotten that ending. Okay, so here is another alternative ending, which I believe is what they call the stab ending. I thought we were already on the stab ending because he stabbed himself in white space. But that was obviously to wake himself up, which is interesting. Yo, running away. Don't even bother to go say hi. Okay. He just legs it home. To be fair, I ran around a lot as well. It just makes things go quicker. Like, come on, what you want me to do? Go to the kitchen. Oh, there's a knife in the kitchen. Okay, so we go to bed. And now what? Okay, welcome to White Space. You've been living here as long as you can remember. I'm assuming you have to stab yourself here, and then you wake up in the real world again. But this time you have a knife? Yeah, as predicted. Ouchies. It's very sad. Oh my god, he's killed himself in his bed. Oh, your mum's trying to call you, dude. Oh my god. That I was not expecting. I had a feeling he was just going to do the same thing in the real world. Maybe like go out to Marie's stump and do it, but whilst he was sleeping, thinking he'd done it in white space, but he'd done it in the real world. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, mate. Okay, so there is another ending, but this is in the Hikikomori route ending. So it's kind of like a version of where Eren or Sunny goes and leaves with his mom, or the one where he stabs himself at night. I'm not sure, but it's one of those. But it's that variation, but it's on the Hikikomori route. So let's have a look at this one, shall we? Oh, you can walk back into white space. I've never tried that. How interesting. And the light bulb's back? What? And then we stab ourselves? Instead of going outside with our friends? Oh, that sound every time just gets me right in the heart. Oh, you wake up with something still right behind you. No new messages. Oh, that's not Mum's to-do list. Oh, it just follows you around. Oh, that's dark. God, I wish I took the Hikikomori route now. Oh, I was so close to not opening the doors at the beginning as well. Tomorrow you'll be moving away. What would you like to do? Return to white space or sleep until morning? I wonder what happens if you return to white space. Maybe just the same thing? Like, maybe you can go through that door and just continue to exist with your friends in the other world. Whoa, what is at the end of my bed right now? There's like someone standing there. Is it Marie? Yes. Yes, it is Marie. The guilt that I am manifesting is Marie. Oh. Oh, okay, it's morning. So is it the same thing as just getting in the car and saying goodbye? Well, not even saying goodbye, just getting in the car and leaving? Yeah. Okay, cool. Mommy loves you. Bye, honey. Bzzzt. She took my to-do list? Ha, rude. Ha, very rude. And everything's fine this morning. It wasn't so fine last night. You brushed your teeth today. Oh, okay. So that's the one where you can't brush your teeth. Oh, I'm very confused. There's so many different ways this can go. A very comfortable bed. Yeah. Oh. No! No, but surely you could just leave. You got the message from your mom. Oh, he is hesitating. Oh, this is very unlike white space. Oh my god. Oh, and then the blood pools everywhere. Jesus. God damn it, Eren. That's a thing. Oh. This is the same thing though, isn't it? His mum's calling and he's not there. Oh, god damn it. Okay, apparently you can also do it at night. You don't have to wait until the morning after. And as you do it, something disappears because that's it, you're gone. I wonder if he could have left the house. I'm very curious about that. Oh god, that sound. Ooh. Okay, so those were all of the endings. Now, I'm pretty sure I saw all of them. That's it. However, if you are on the Hikikomori route, you can get similar endings, but they are altered very, very slightly. And obviously in all of these endings, there's a little bit of changed dialogue. There's a little bit of just bits and bobs that we've missed because we've not spoken to everyone. But either way, if you go the neutral route and you don't go the bad route and you don't go the true route, Basil commits suicide. And that's really, really crap. No matter what you do, either Basil dies or Basil and Erin dies, Sunny, which is awful. Because that town then has to deal with 2 suicides on the same day, 4 years after his sister's suicide. That's absolutely awful. But moving away from that at the moment, I wanted to look at the cemetery section because we didn't get to look at that. And now I don't think it's super, super duper long, but I wanted to see the dialogue between, well, I'd say between Erin and Kel, but we know Erin's not going to talk. So I just wanted to see what happened because obviously this is something you could access when you were walking around with Kel in Far Away before everything else kind of continued at that point. So just have a little quick look at that. Okay, so whoever recorded this is flying through the dialogue, so I'm just going to try and pause it and just read it for you guys. So, Old Beardy, something in the air seems amiss lately. The spirits, they're howling. It sounds like they're preparing a welcoming party. Someone close by may be joining them soon. Well, that's horrifying. What's with that look? You think I'm crazy or something? Don't be so quick to judge. You'd believe too if you'd seen what I've seen. Oh, okay. Okay, buddy. No worries. He's obviously the gravekeeper, so we'll just let him do his thing. I mean, if he's been here that long, then maybe, you know. Oh, no. Oh. A white egret orchid in the flea. That's Marie's grave. Our dearest Marie. The sun shined brighter when she was here. Marie, it feels like so long ago already. I still think about her all the time. I'm sure you do, too. You know, when Marie passed away, Hero really stopped caring about everything. He didn't want to get out of bed for school or even eat. He stopped taking care of himself, stopped baking. It was like that for almost a year. Mom and Dad didn't know what to do either. We all tried to help him be supportive, but nothing was really working. One night, I went over to him while he was all huddled in his blankets and started saying stuff. Stuff like how we all miss him and how we want him to get better. How everyone is really worried. How Marie wouldn't want to see him like this. I thought I was helping him, but Hero got angry. He suddenly got up and started screaming and yelling at me about a bunch of stuff. Some of it was pretty hurtful too, but I think I blocked out a lot of it. His eyes were already super red, but the more he yelled at me, the harder he cried. I tried my best to calm him down, but whatever I said just made him worse. I'd never seen Hero do anything close to that before. Really took me by surprise, and I was so scared that, well, I started crying too. Eventually, Mom and Dad ran to our room and rushed over to hug him and calm him down. But they completely ignored me. I think that's where Hero got his senses back, because he ran to me and hugged me right away. Just kept apologizing over and over. But at least Hero got a lot better after that. He started taking care of himself again, and focusing on school a lot more, and joining a bunch of extracurricular stuff. He's naturally good at everything, but he still works really hard, so I'm proud of him. I guess he's a little more closed off now than he used to be, but I'm really just glad to have my brother back. Anyways, sorry for the long story. I don't think I've ever told anyone that before. It's not his fault, but I think Hero blames himself for Marie's death. Hero's never visited here. Not even once. I know it really hurts, but maybe it might be good for him. I don't know. So that sucks. If Hero was, and maybe still is, blaming himself for Marie's death because he didn't see it coming, because he thought, obviously, that she took her own life, and he blames himself for it because he was meant to be there for her because they were an item, he loved her. Can you imagine how angry he will be at both Omori and Basil when they come clean? I think it might be implied that there's such a good, strong friendship group that they'll forgive each other, but personally, something like that hits you so... I say this like I know. I don't, but that's going to hit someone so hard. Telling someone that information when they've been blaming themselves for this person's death for 4 years. I don't think it's just going to be, hey, it's okay, we're all friends, don't worry about it, let's forget it. There's going to be some hard times up ahead for these boys. And Aubrey, of course, because obviously Aubrey was, you know, she was absolutely distraught about Marie's death. My God. Right, there is one more thing that I want to show you. Now, there is lots more to look at. There is a lot more information. I'm pretty sure that they edited some of the data in the game and they were able to access multiple black space rooms that weren't there before, that take you to like 6 or 7 different places, and there's like a whole lot of dialogue and interactions between the group of friends, and you can actually view that on YouTube. But I will link the Omori Discord progress doc down in the description, so if you are curious, go check that out. All the links to those kind of YouTube videos are in that document. It's very, very interesting, and I implore that you do it. But I want to explore the truth. Now, this is the album of the photos that we see collecting at the end, the dark photos that told us the story. But the album is a representation of Sunny and Basil's memories, according to the Omori wiki. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. This is the truth. So this is an album, or the photo album. It's the one that we collected all the photos for at the end of the game and explained the story that happened between Omori and Marie and Basil when Marie died. So according to Omori Wiki, this album is a representation of Sunny's and Basil's memories. The text on the overview of the albums is usually blurred and unreadable in normal gameplay, but can be viewed from the game files. So in that document, there is a transcription. And I have also found a little video for you here, which is rather interesting. So I'm just going to pop that up and I will read you the descriptions as we go along, because they are very helpful in deciphering what happened between Omori, Marie, and Basil, and they reduce a lot of the guesswork, because there is a lot of that. Now, because the wiki said that it's a representation of their memories, we've kind of figured out, I say we, I've read some of you guys having discussions done in the comments, and I've obviously read a lot of Reddit stuff as well. The general idea is that these Polaroids that we are finding aren't actually Polaroids that Basil took, because that would be very, very dark, and that's what I believed to begin with, although I didn't note it on the last episode, I didn't say anything, but one of you guys mentioned it in the comments and it kind of clicked, and I was like, oh my god, Basil took these photos of Marie's death and her dying and taking her corpse out to the garden. But it was then noted to me that not only could he not have obviously taken these photos while he was, you know, carrying a corpse, but he wouldn't have been able to take Polaroids of everything that happened. He wouldn't have known that something was happening. Personally, anyway, that's what I think. But these are memories that I think are suppressed in both boys, and that is what has caused this entire story. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So let's have a look at photo number 1 in the Truth Black Space photo album, shall we? So this is a photo of a wall. You heard some scoffing from behind the wall, but paid it no notice. You were in no mood to focus. You were overcome. You were sick of everything. You know it wasn't a big deal, but you couldn't control yourself. Number 2. Now this, by the way, right at the very, very beginning of the game, okay, right at the very beginning of the game, when Basil disappeared in his house that first time and the screen flickered, if you go into those frames and you go frame by frame by frame, you will find this photo, which is a violin at the bottom of the stairs smashed. I just want to point that out because I went back to my game files because I saw it and I was like, oh, but there's no way I would see that in normal gameplay, so I'm going to not check that, and I will come back to it later, and I made a note of it. I've got like a little document notepad over here with all the things that I've been doing in the game. I haven't done enough, obviously, because all these people are doing amazing stuff and looking at everything. But anyway, let's continue with the album, shall we? So the photo of a broken violin. Your precious violin lay shattered at the bottom of the staircase. You threw it in a rage. Your fingers were shaking in pain, practicing over and over, but you still make mistakes after mistakes. This is all a bad idea. So that takes away the discussion as to whether Marie broke his violin or whether Aaron broke his violin, Sunny broke his violin on his own, and obviously confirms what we pretty much already knew, is that he was frustrated by his violin playing. So next one is photo of an argument. Marie was yelling at you. You couldn't understand what she was saying. She didn't understand you at all. She didn't understand that you just weren't good enough. The only thing you hold on to was your anger. This pain, was it her fault? Okay, but this is really interesting because she's angry at him because she's pushing him too hard to get better at the violin. And he is obviously, he's got a lot of self-doubt, doesn't think he's good enough because he keeps practicing and practicing and feels like he's not getting better. And obviously we all know that's life, we have to keep pushing. But when you're younger, that's so much harder. And that's really, really difficult. So obviously he's wondering now, whilst he's at the top of the stairs, is it her fault that he feels this way because she's forcing him to do it? Is he that angry? Could he have done it on purpose? We shall find out in a moment. Photo of a fight. Marie blocked your path. She says that she isn't finished talking. She tells you not to run away, but why not? You did this all for her. Why was she yelling at you? You didn't understand. Okay. So she's gotten in your way. You've tried to walk away. She's grabbed you and stopped you from trying to walk away from her because she wants you to listen. She wants you to understand. But you don't get it. Why? Photo of a murder. You lose all sense and push her down the staircase. Now that is all there is for this photo. Now I'm curious. You lose all sense and push her down the staircase. Did you shove her away from you? Similar to like Aubrey did to Basil and accidentally sent her down the stairs? Or you purposely meant to push her down the stairs in order to hurt her and to get her off your back, but it ended up causing her death? Either way, I don't think it was done on purpose. This was an accident. And I believe this is also part of the reason why Sunny or Erin jumped in after Basil when Aubrey accidentally pushed him into the lake, because he had already experienced something similar and Marie died because of it, and he didn't want Basil to die because of Aubrey's mistake. So he dived in after him even though he couldn't swim, which is really cool. I like the symbolism, very nice. Photo of silence. You watched Marie crush on top of your broken violin. The sound wakes you up to nothing but silence. You called out to her, but she doesn't answer. Your heart sinks into your stomach. God, could you imagine that? Nope, not okay with that at all. Couldn't imagine that. Oh, Jesus, could you imagine pushing someone because you're annoyed and then suddenly they're dead? And it's your fault? Oh, God, it's traumatizing. Don't like it. Okay, carrying on. Photo of panic. It happened in an instant. You didn't mean to do that. Well, you did mean to push her, didn't you? It was an accident, right? You're not sure. You tremble your way down the staircase. I don't need to go on to explain this one. Photo of desperation. You call her name, but she doesn't answer. You sweep the bits of wood from her body. Nothing but scratches. You turn her around and see her face. She looks asleep, but then, why isn't she answering? Photo of an accomplice. You pick up Marie and drag her up the stairs. She feels lighter than you think. She just needs to lie down in a bed. She just needs some rest. Oh, this is so sad. This is so sad. It's so sad. Photo of disbelief. Your heart beats out of your chest. Your head feels fuzzy. You lose vision. You push the door to the bedroom open and make your way to her bed. She's gonna be okay, right? This is just a dream, right? Oh, Erin. I'm so sorry, dude. Photo of anguish. You call her name over and over, but she doesn't answer. You watch the light from the window cast a shadow over her face. She's expressionless. You sink your fingers into her arm and break down into tears. Oh, this makes me very sad. Don't know why I decided to do this. Photo of guilt. You want to scream for help, but you're afraid. You mumble to yourself, but what if they ask what happened? There's no way you can tell them the truth. Who would be able to forgive him? Who would believe that it was an accident? Now that one sounds like it's reading from Basil's point of view, because they say, who would be able to forgive him? Oh man. Photo of an idea. A whisper comes from behind you, but you ignore it. A cry comes from behind you, but you ignore it. You cover your face with your arms. This isn't real. None of this is real. Why won't you wake up? Photo of hopelessness. Everything appears dark. The shadows slither around you. You don't understand what is happening. Your head starts to feel fuzzy. You sink into a crevice in your mind. An empty, white room. Remind you of anywhere. Photo of support. Your shoulders feel heavy. A familiar voice whispers something unspeakable. Your eyes widen. It tells you to follow its lead. It says it's the only way. It says that everything will be okay. So this is both from the perspective of, obviously, Erin and Basil, or Sunny and Basil, because obviously this was a photo I didn't quite understand, but this is obviously Basil's hands on his shoulders saying, hey, you know, the thing I'm whispering that's unspeakable is an idea to stage a suicide. Oh, that's deep, man. Anyway, photo of betrayal. You pick up Marie's body and lift it down the staircase. She feels lighter than you think. You feel multiple eyes shift their gaze to you. You keep your eyes toward the ground. Photo of hope. You hear the sliding of a familiar door. A voice tells you to walk. A gust of wind enters the room as the light outside engulfs you. You keep your eyes towards the ground. Photo of a tree. As you face forward, you listen to the crunching of the grass and feel the coolness of the wind. You hear the leaves in the trees riffle as the sun begins to set, but you try to ignore it. It's all just a dream. Photo of a branch. You lay down Marie's body and look up for the first time. Small rays of light shine through the cracks in the leaves. You relish in its beauty and savor the moment. You think, even if this is all real, if you keep looking at the leaves, that everything will be okay. Photo of a rope. You hear pacing, the crunching of the grass sifting back and forth. You think you see a figure pick something up off the ground, but you're not sure. You keep staring at the leaves overhead. Everything will be okay, you think. Everything will be okay. Photo of hands. You hear shuffling, you hear dragging and creaking and pulling. Something is happening, but you refuse to look away from the leaves. Your head feels fuzzy again. You bite your tongue and attempt to wake up one last time, but it's no use. You're still here. Photo of a lie. As you and Basil step into the house, you look back towards the trees and see it. The light engulfs it as it sways in the wind. For a moment, you feel at peace. You hate yourself for feeling this way. Is that all then? Is everything going to be okay now? God, I can't. This is horrible. They're just young kids. They shouldn't have done it. It's an awful, horrible thing that they did, but God, it's a photo of legs. You feel a cold hand clutch yours. You try to jerk away, but it squeezes back, unwilling to let you go. The hand drags you backwards. You look up and see your best friend for the first time, Basil. You see the tears falling down his tired eyes as he looks ahead. You suddenly realize that none of this is a dream. All of this is real. Photo of something. Suddenly, Basil stops. You look up at his eyes, but this time they're wide and awake, staring at something. You turn your eyes towards it as well, though you wish you didn't. An eye meets yours. Your heart sinks into your stomach. You shouldn't have looked back. You just shouldn't have looked. Oh my God. You know, as much as I want to believe right this second that something is just the manifestation of these boys' guilt and torment that they put themselves through and just, oh my God. At the same time, I'm wondering if this is a hint towards the fact that maybe Marie wasn't actually dead. And that she was maybe just unconscious. Because they were so young, how would they have known to test for a pulse? How would they have understood what unconscious was? Maybe they did. Maybe she was definitely dead. But what if she wasn't? What if they hung her in the tree and she was still alive and could have been saved? But she did die like that. I don't know. It could be. But you have to consider, obviously, and now obviously getting into the whole theory of everything right now, because after that, whew, let's do it. You got to consider that there has to be some amount of disbelief for this to work, because it's 4 years later, and there's going to be police investigations. They're not just going to say, okay, this girl hung herself, that's it. There's going to be a lot more to it. The parents will know something's up with their children. Obviously, there's torment and grief to go through, but I don't know why I use the word torment. It's probably not the right word for me to use. I just can't think of another word that I should use. But there would be so much more to this, obviously. Like, obviously, the violin and the sheets of bloody music that they put in a toy box that's in a room under the stairs. That is obviously something that they would have looked for. They would have searched the house, done a lot of stuff, possibly. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know how it all works, to be completely honest with you. But I just wonder, what if she was still alive, man? Maybe they managed to rule asphyxiation as a cause of death, and therefore confirms that she was alive when they hung her. That would be brutal. But yeah. So the theories are many, multiple, and the fandom per se is growing very quickly with this game. I'm overwhelmed by the amount of people that are just like coming into this and exploring and giving their ideas and their theories, because there's so many different theories, and because there's no solid truth to this, I think everyone has their own opinion, and that's fine, as long as nobody gets troublesome with it, because I know people can feel very strongly about opinions. It's very difficult to talk about my own personal theory, because as I said, I'm not great at explaining myself, especially when it comes to stuff that's quite deep like this. However, as simply as I can put it, I believe that Sonny, or Aaron, whichever you'd like to call him, was obviously very traumatized about what happened, and so overcome, obviously, with like paranoia, anxiety, guilt, shame, fear, everything, that he ended up suppressing the memory of Marie's death. However, every time he looked in the mirror, he sees himself, he sees what he did, and therefore manifested the something that was behind him that was always over. I feel like it's different for Eren and Basil. Basil's got something and Eren's got something, but I do honestly believe that they're different for them both. I feel like for Eren, it's more of a overwhelming shadow fear of being found out, of being so guilty, his mind obviously racing 24/7, wondering what to do, so ashamed. But at the same time, you've got Marie there in Otherworld, which is probably his subconscious trying to get him to forgive himself. And it's very hard to explain Omori and Eren as separate people because they're obviously the same entity. However, Omori is the part that has forgotten Marie and wants to forget Marie and continue on like that. However, Eren, I believe, wants to remember, to forgive, and overcome this. And that's what this whole journey was about. As for Basil, I don't feel like he repressed the memory so much, because as you saw, he wasn't as deadpan and as blank as Eren was through this entire playthrough. He was fearful, he was scared, he was confused, he was upset. And I felt like he manifested the something behind both him and Eren, which was probably down to the fact that he saw what happened, didn't believe his friend could possibly do something this bad, and was so obviously, again, traumatized by the situation that he created this reason for why it happened, and that overwhelmed him and overcame him. And in the beginning there, as I mentioned a little bit earlier on in this video, when Basil was in his house, he found that photo, which is obviously a memory that obviously clicked with him, of the broken violin at the bottom of the stairs, and then he vanished, right? He completely disappeared in the other world, which could have something to do with Omori, not sure, trying to remove Basil from Otherworld because he was trying to prevent Eren from remembering the whole situation so that he could continue the way he was continuing. It's very hard for me to explain this, but you get where I'm coming from, right? You get where I'm coming from, right? Okay, I hope so. Someone on Reddit said something very interesting, and I do think I agree with it, and that is that Kel's spirit, Aubrey's suffering, and obviously Hiro's grief is the fuel that drove Eren to face his fear, which is Omori, and the truth, which is obviously, you know, the black photo album from Black Space. And I really like that, because obviously they were there with him in the other world, but they weren't there in white space. And obviously white space is somewhere where he can forget, go blank, and just not feel. Where his journey into Otherworld, I think, was pushed by Eren attempting to seek forgiveness, not only of himself, but of his peers. And it took him on a long road that eventually ended up in obviously discovering the truth of everything and facing his fears. And then he saved Basil as well. I do agree that they must be manifestations of who they are in the real world, because as we saw at the end there, those two groups of friends merged together from Otherworld to real world. We sometimes saw them from the Otherworld, and we sometimes saw them from the real world in both worlds. So that was interesting. But yeah, no, that's my theory, my idea, my thoughts on the subject. Don't hate me, please. If you have your own theories, your own thoughts, please feel free to share them in the comments below. I will be very intrigued to read them. This was such a roller coaster, but I feel like with what I've accepted, I am okay to move on from this. This was insane and amazing, and I feel like it was a really good experience. And I'm so happy that I did it, because this is not my kind of game at all. I would never normally have picked this. But I followed it a little bit from such a long time ago, and I kind of forgot about it for a little while, and it resurfaced, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And so I had to jump onto it because, you know, it's psychological horror. I mean, that's what I like. But at the end of the day, good experience, good times. And hey, maybe now I will actually look into doing some more of these kind of like longer scripted RPG games. Who knows? I don't know. Some people are calling this game the new Undertale, and would you believe it? Funnily enough, I have not watched or played Undertale. Nope. For this exact reason, it is a very similar, very long scripted game, and it just wasn't really up my street, but now I'm kind of intrigued. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it made you feel a little less lonely. If you liked it, smack the like button, subscribe for more. It's free. Why not? Just do it. I will see you in the next video. Bye.